Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All depends the part of the world you are joining us from. I remember as Chika Austin, and I believe I'm coming out loud and clear. I believe I'm strongly coming out loud and clear. Okay. Help us to share this program. I'm strongly coming out loud and clear. Help us to share this program as much as you can. So today we want to talk about a historical fact. We deal on history because history is said to be man activities in the past. So that's why we are in tune with history. And there's nothing we do that we don't like calling back the place of history. Because if it is said that history is man activities in the past, what that implies is that there is nothing we are doing today that has never been done. That is what it is. There is absolutely nothing we are doing today that has never been done. Sorry to see. I don't know if this should be better. And the way it works. Let me see. Just let us, if we are coming out clear, visual and otherwise. Okay. So, perhaps we leave it this way and roll. So, if history is said to be man activities in the past, what that implies is this. There is absolutely nothing we are doing under the earth in the contemporary times that has never been done in the past. You have to understand that. There is absolutely nothing that is new under the sun. So if we are asking for freedom, people in time past had also done that. If we are asking for whatever thing we are asking, let us understand it that if we beam the touch of history, we will realize that people in the past have also done that. And that is why there is no successful people without sound understanding of history. When people negate the place of history or historical knowledge, they are bound to repeat series of mistakes. They are bound to keep on shooting themselves on the foot. They are bound to keep on engaging in self-inflicted damages. And that is why a man's level of wisdom or level of maturity is measured by the volume of history at his disposal. The difference between a wise man and a fool is that the wise man has taken a precautionary lessons and measures from history. A fool detests history. He doesn't want to learn anything. He believes he's an epicenter of knowledge. He believes that he's even bringing a new dimension. That is how foolish people think. But men of wisdom, successful men, have held historical antecedents. historical knowledge, historical information religiously. They have held it so closely. Because you understand that there is nothing you are attempting to do today that has never been done in the past. Absolutely nothing. So nothing is new under the sun, says the wise man. And that's why one of those things I try to do, despite my tight schedule and limited resources, as the case may be, is to broaden our hearts towards looking at history. Let us understand historical antecedents. Let's understand historical records. Because today, our actions and inactions are also building for history of tomorrow. Because history is progressive. Your father made history, whether a negative or positive history. One day, you will also be a history for a certain generation to study. So it is symbiotic in nature. It is interconnected. You cannot separate it with human progression. And that is why every outstanding country, every outstanding nation always holds strongly the pinnacle of history. And that is what it is. So today we are talking about freedom and history. Freedom and history. Very, very important to understand this. And of course, for those of you, sometime when you want to share program on this platform, on the contemporary times, you will see, do not share fake or whatever. It is usually what I experience whenever there's a global conflict, an outbreak of war. Whenever I push certain information and it seems not favorable to certain quarters, it seems not to be in the nature of mainstream platforms, global mainstream platforms, my page is always flagged down. So it's not a threat. I commend every single one of us that took our times, to recommend this page. I really appreciate our work. I think we have over 200 recommendations. These are really amazing. But do not bother when you want to share and you see something like, do not share, this page carries fake news. Don't bother yourself, just share. By the way, just use share, by the way, because it's always the way it is. When there was Ukrainian-Russian war at the early stage, I had that experience. In fact, that one was so bad that my page was tagged a Russian disinformation channel. But I have no issue with that because my sources of information are not conventional channels. When you look at conventional channels of information, they have to be highly censored and highly filtered. The editors have to work on those information before it's published. They consider, in course of it, working on those information I mean to say, they have to filter out a lot of things as a result of interest considerations. But my channel of sourcing information does, the channels do not go through these conventional processes because it's just a loose platform. So you should, as a matter of fact, understand some of these restrictions and all this, because it is not, my sources of information are not mainstream or conventional channels. And I owe nobody any explanation as a matter of fact, because I hate censored information. I hate when information is highly filtered at the detriment of public consumption. I can't be party to that, and I have never, envisaged being a party to highly censored information. No. It is, to me, it is detrimental to the psyche of the public. It's another version of media corruption, as a matter of fact. So you can share, nevertheless, despite whatever you see them push. It's definitely going to naturally go out of my page. At least by the time the war is over, they are going to let the page also run on its own trajectory. So that is what I really want to explain. So we are talking about freedom movement or freedom fighting and history. And I started by letting us understand that we are not the first people who are seeking for freedom. We are not the only people who are also seeking for it. We are not going to be the only people who will also seek for it in the future. So, in as much as there is a human suppression, in as much as there is human abuses to fellow men, quest for better society, quest for better life, quest for freedom will always be there. You can't eradicate it. You can't eradicate it. But in our own case, we seem not to be more interested to understand history. And you see some of us, the way we talk, you will marvel, understand that, no, these guys are just charlatans. And as a matter of fact, it's important to understand that IPOB is a movement asking for Biafra. IPOB is not Biafra. I have treated this same topic, but it's important to reiterate it so that we should understand. Yes, I know the place is under attack. So, IPOB is not Biafra. IPOB is a Biafran, a pro-Biafran movement, a group seeking to restore Biafra. That is what IPOB is. IPOB is not a Biafra. It's not the mother project. It's a means to get to the highest pantheon. The highest pantheon here is the Biafran project. IPOB is just a machinery at which we want to get to that destination. It's important to understand this. So if IPOB is a machinery that we want to convey ourselves to the destination, it then means we should also look at the condition, the healthiness of this vehicle that wants to convey us to another project. Because what most of us do not understand, but that might be as a result of self-denial, is this. Not every Biafran buys the idea or the philosophy of IPOB project. Not every Biafran. And it's not exclusive to us. Before the State of Israel was founded in 1948, there are various groups in Israel that rejected the establishment of State of Israel. Does it make them non-Israelis today? They are citizens of Israel. That they rejected the philosophy, the vision, the mission of certain group who wanted the State of Israel to be established. That they rejected it does not mean that when Israel was established in 1948, that they were no longer Israelis. I want us to understand something, because the reason why we teach this is to enable you to understand realism. Most of us love sentiments. Most of us love emotional statements. Most of us love fantastic and sweetened tunes, delusional postures. We love it. Some of us, anyway. Which is obviously undermining to where we're going to. So what am I trying to say? IPOB is a machinery. Or should I say IPOB is one of the certain pro-Biafran groups. There are other pro-Biafran groups. Their philosophies might not be compatible with us, with that of us. That does not mean that does not mean in any way that you will delink them as pro-Biafrans. So what am I trying to say? If you come to the Biafran population, it is stratified. I want you to understand something. What I mean by stratification is this. It has, if you look at the totality of Biafran population, there are social classifications. This population is classified on the entrepreneurship class. Entrepreneurship class, I mean, or should I say, international bourgeoisies class. These are a group of them who have moved around the world. They conduct international businesses. They engage on global scale. These are a class of a Biafran population. Then you have another class below that. This is my personal postulation, as a matter of fact. You have another class below that. These are class of political class. The class of Biafran populations who are actively participating in Nigerian politics. Then below them, you now have what I might call the medium class group. These are, the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers who are just doing well in their area of endeavor. They don't belong to the bourgeoisie class or the Biafran population class. They do not belong to the political class, but they are just the middle class. Then you have the lower class, or should I say the rank class. Now, if you look at all these classes I postulated, not all of the classes have... Okay, we're back. Sorry, network. Now, when you look at these classes, the classification of Biafran population, the bourgeoisie class, the political class, or the class of politicians, then the medium class, then the lower class. If you look at the bourgeoisie class, you might not necessarily have much indicated members of that class in IPOB. I repeat, if you look at the topmost class, you might not have members of that topmost class, much of them, in IPOB. Now, do you know the reason why that class do not easily identify? Is because of certain information, certain orientation, the kind of orientation they have, which is different from other class. When you talk about this class, you talk about the class of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you talk about, the big wealthy guys. When I'm talking about wealthy guys, I'm talking about entrepreneurs. I'm not talking about the likes of the city boys. I'm talking about people with ideal enterprising. They have the capital. They are the capitalists. They control the means of productions and distributions. They control the economy. They have a global, widespread tentacle. You ask yourself, how many of them are found in IPO? The answer is not far-fetched. The reason why you do not see them in a movement like IPOB is because their orientation, the kind of information at their disposal. You see, they can easily sort for information to know. So these guys, this class I'm talking about, have a widespread network, widespread access to information that they can even ascertain where is Chika Austin is currently. They have the resources to pick such information. Who is Chika Austin constantly discussing with? They have information to that. What is the reputation, integrity rate of Chika Austin? They have the resources to ascertain it. So they do not dabble into what the political class, the medium class, or the lower class could easily dabble into. Now, for us, some of us who are ignorant, we start insulting and attacking them. Oh, they are sabo, in our common languages. They don't want to identify with the project in our common languages. But the truth remains, they spend their time understudying, analyzing, projecting, looking at the success base of a vision before you see them investing on it. For you, it is identification. You want to identify. For them, it is an investment. The associations are based on investment. So when they seek information to know what is the reputation level of these people, what is the level of the soundness of their minds, are they ragtags? Their policy generation, from which source is it coming? Is it coming from the source of Madam Mochi Fear? They have resources to access all this information. So, when you do not see them around you, you should ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? Because every vision or every project that is not attractive is difficult to sell or to be marketed. Even America as it is, America to tomorrow still try to market America. That's why United States Department of Treasury will say, oh, America has opened her bond for investment, for foreign investors to invest in American bond. For foreign investors to invest in American bond, they have to have confidence in American economy. They have to have integrity, confidence, trust before you see them. That's why any time America miscalculates in sustaining her reputations and integrity, you will hear that foreign investors, countries who have bought American bond, they are selling it. They start selling it, liquidating it to go and buy gold. Instead of stocking it in dollar, they abandon dollar, and you hear that dollar is facing depression. These are social interaction. These are realities of life. So when you look at the bourgeois system, you ask yourself, what you're doing, is it attractive to them? And remember, they are not regulated by your vituperations. That you are eloquent, you talk smartly, do not attract them. Because they have resources to know whom I am, other than what I am saying. They have the resources to know, oh, this guy who comes online and be talking about Biafra, this Chika Austin, who is he actually? They can scoop my gadget. They can eavesdrop on my gadget. They can listen to every discussion I'm making. Even the ones I call private and secret one. They can have access to it. Because they have the resources. So why am I saying this? For those of us who do not understand these social realities, you have to understand it. When you think you are living your life, you don't care. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you what to talk. You open your mouth widely, the gutter mouth, the most thinking part of human body, and you start talking down. And when they ask you, in arrogance, ignorantly prepared arrogance, you think you are doing anybody. You are doing yourself. Because nobody wants to associate with a fool. That is what it is. Now, this group that they did not identify with your project and you achieve it, you cannot in any way also tell them that they are not going to be part of the society. You cannot de-Biafran them. You cannot say, oh, because they did not survive, they will not come in. You do not have that right. No country has ever done that, and you cannot, the world cannot watch you do that. You own no power of such. Because you know some of us who are somehow, should I say, illiterates. Sometimes the way we talk, oh, but when Biafra comes, these people will not come in. Who are you? Do you understand that Biafra is going to operate on international laws? You have not been informed? Oh, do you think you will make your village market square laws and it turns to the law of the land? No. Biafra is going to be an integrational nation, just like every other country. You must participate amongst the community of nations. As a matter of fact, it's a reality. So, below them are the political class. Of course, it's only a fool. In fact, it's better you bank on the promises of the bourgeoisie class than to banking on the promises of the political class. Because the political class are there to take advantage of whatever you're doing to advance their own cause. To advance their own cause. You know, most of us are not smart, so to say. Recently, the leadership of this movement raised a policy of educating our people to vote out certain political class who have virtually not done anything from our land. And ordinarily, somebody who do not understand how things move will think these guys will not fight back. If IPOB is organized to bring such change, to make sure that these guys are relegated, then they have a lot to lose. So sometimes you do not even know certain quarters, certain distractions are counter-attack from these quarters. Because it's normal. It is only a tree you say you want to kill, you expect the tree not to react. So when the leadership of the struggle said, oh, let us sensitize our people to vote certain people out of it, one of those things they also recognize that these guys will fight back. Of course, just give you loads of dollars and you will see people who do not even understand where they are going to. So many of us think it's a project of fame, probably make money, and what have you. So that's the political class. The political class only believe that whatever you say you're pursuing, if it's not going to be favorable to their interest, that you're kidding. Even when they are associating with you, they try as much as possible to encourage you, even though you don't eat rat, at least use your teeth to cut it and share it to the children. Just like I said, I don't eat rat. But when you bring rat, I will use my teeth to cut it and share to children. What I have a contact with is already rat. And this is what the politicians do. In most cases, when you see them telling some individuals, don't worry, we are going to take you to Sheyi will discuss with you. They know the level of compromise you have made. When they facilitate, you see one or two persons, not just for the murder project, but you went there to talk rubbish, project your own interest, personal aggrandizement. They know how, in fact, they rate you based on that. When you were busy thinking you're smart, going certain quarters, cutting out deals and all these nonsense, they know how untrustworthy you are. The political class know it. And of course, they have the strength of information management until the right time. And that's why every single one of us will understand this. Now, even if they do not identify with you, you cannot also de-Biafran them. When the movement, the nation is restored, you cannot say, oh, they are not going to come in. You are talking out of ignorance because you do not even understand how state actors operate. You do not understand how state actors play. So whether you organize yourself and get it is for your own advantage. If you disorganize yourself and destroy the project, it's also to your own disadvantage. It's also to your own disadvantage. Now, after them are the middle class, which are the most people you see in the struggle. They'll always be the ones to drive the change that people yearn for. And of course, the lower class. But in all these things we are talking about, where there is no trust, where trust is in doubt, it becomes an impediment to the struggle. It doesn't matter how you want to present it. It doesn't matter how you want to paint it. Where there is no trust, there's always difficulty. But before I go into that, let me also let us understand something. Because we're talking about history. So if I say everything I'm saying without invoking historical antecedent or historical record, we are saying very, very important. So let's look at something so interesting. Something so interesting. Because when you see certain people opposing what you're doing or issue of Biafra, you should understand that it's just not just new. This is not the first time it has happened in human history, and this is not the last time it's going to happen in human history. You just have to understand it. Very, very important. This is not the first time, and this is not the last time. You know, when you look at the history of Israel, for instance, before 1948, you would understand that they experienced a lot of things. They experienced a lot of opposition. This opposition against the state of Israel came from the Jews before 1948. I'm going to call your attention to that. The state of Israel you're seeing today was heavily opposed, not by outsiders, but by the Jews themselves. By the Jews themselves. Let us look at some of the records. Let us look at some of the records. One amongst them from religious angle are the ultra-Orthodox or the Haredi groups. These are ultra-Orthodox Jews who were against the establishment of State of Israel. A prominent example is certain Orthodox Jewish sects that view the creation of the state of a secular Jewish state before the arrival of Messiah as violation of religious principles. Do you know that the Orthodox Jews opposed the establishment of State of Israel because they felt that the only person that has power to establish the State of Israel is the Messiah. Is the Messiah. For those of you complaining is not allowing you to share. When you want to share, you say, this is a fake news. Just share, say share anyway. So, a certain people in a certain Jews before 1948, we are saying, we do not need the State of Israel because the State of Israel that we want is the one that will be established by Messiah himself. And they opposed it. Go and check the ultra-Orthodox, the Herodic groups. They did it. Another group is the Nature Qatar. The Nature Qatar. They call themselves the guidance of the city. This is another group. Why are we mentioning all these things? Well, most of you think that when you have a splinter groups coming, trying to destabilize the journey, hell, you start shouting in your sentimental, Ndi will hate Ndi will hate themselves. Ndi they cannot work together. I'm telling you, you are talking about 60 million people. But I'm telling you, the Israelis, I think they should be maybe 25 or 30 million people. They are smaller than us, but they had more dissenting voices than us. This is what history teaches. History teaches you a comparative relationship between what you're doing today and what people have done in the past. Because some of you, out of hatred to knowledge and research, you talk things you do not even know. I have talked about a group known as Nature Qatar. They call themselves the guidance of the city. They said this group was founded in Jerusalem in 1938. This small but vocal Herodic group has members living in Israel, in Jerusalem, in Mesherin neighborhood. They do not recognize the State of Israel. These are Jews, or not outsiders. They do not recognize the State of Israel. They refuse to vote, serve in the military, or accept state benefit in many cases. They are still there in Israel today, not even recognizing the State of Israel. These are people who also believe that the only Israel they will recognize is the one that will be established by the Messiah himself. Does he make them non-Israelis? Absolutely no. Does he deny the fact that the State of Israel was restored or actualized? Let's look at the Hasidim. This is another religious group. The Hasidim also believe in the same way. Now, when you look at the secular level, you have the Mosavot. The Mosavot group do not even believe in State of Israel. Even till today, they don't join IDF, Israeli Defense Force. They do not because they don't believe in the State of Israel. But do their belief system stop the State of Israel? It didn't. These are various splinter groups. Somebody is even giving me an accurate figure that Israelis are about 15 million people. And they have so many groups. Are you talking about the Bris Shalom and the Ehud? They are the banner nationalist groups, the British Shalom and the Hood group. So many, too many of them stood against. These are Jews saying we do not need the state of Israel. Some, of course, were funded by the outside enemies. Some were also organically. But did it stop the state of Israel? It didn't. Did it stop Herzl, David Ben-Gurion, and all the rest of them to achieve their project? It didn't. So why am I saying this? Is because some of us, and the way we think, when we see some of dissenting voices, we start, oh, so we cannot do something in common. We cannot do. You are not the only person that have experienced that. Or do I even teach you about the Kurdish people, the Kurdish in Iraq? Even their referendum they held, certain Kurdish group opposed it. I'm talking about the Kurdish people in Iraq. Did they stop the Kurdish quasi-sovereignty? It didn't. So why are we saying all these things? We are saying all these things for you to understand that in a movement like this, distractions will come, provocations will come. If it doesn't come, that means the oppressor is no longer alive. If it does not come, the oppressor is no longer alive. It must definitely arise. Because it is normal to see ignorant and poor mindset fellows to instigate. It is normal. It is normal. You will definitely get ignorant people to maximize. That is how it is. Everybody cannot understand the statecraft system. Not everybody. Everybody cannot be so immune against little money. And everybody cannot be intelligent, not be as stupid as the likes of Prince Valentine. Yes, that is what it is. So, when all these things are happening, you should fall back to history. Ask yourself, this thing we are doing hard, were there people who have done it? What did they face? What were their challenges? Then you can now understand how to maneuver and survive the turbulences. Because what you're seeing today, you do not understand what is going on. And some of us, are also curious to know. But I just thank God for the kind of leadership we have. Most of you do not understand the level of maturity they have. This is a movement. This is a movement. And being a movement, it is a movement that, it is a movement that is anchored on projecting ability to control oneself before the international community. The summary of everything we are doing is that we are trying to convince humanity that, see, if you support us to be on our own, we can manage ourselves, we can rule ourselves. That is the summary of everything we are doing. Now, there are certain qualities that attract support. There are certain features that you need to posit. People can say, oh, these people are mature. Let us see where and how we can help them. It is a natural thing. You know, there are certain individuals you see, you say, oh, I want to do business with this person. This person has some level of confidentiality. You know, this person has some level of management skill. This person has this person is it happens at our individual levels. Nobody wants to associate with a moron or a fraudster. Nobody. It's so funny that even a thief is afraid to do a business with somebody he knows that is a thief. Because even a thief wants preservation. Now, all we are doing is to tell the world, not just the Nigerian state, but the global community, see, we have the capacity to rule ourselves. And in course of ruling yourself or becoming a state actor, there are certain features you must present on the table. For instance, feature of credibility. Because if you're not credible, you cannot manage global wealth. It's not, immediately you become a country, you see, the reason why you see the world talking about can we disintegrate Nigeria, you see a lot of African countries not giving a damn if Nigeria wants to end, because Nigeria has failed in terms of credibility. Investors have come into Nigeria and lose their money, got their money being looted, scammed. And whenever you see some countries say, oh, let us consider disintegrating, ending Nigeria, not because people are fighting for Biafra. Another thing is because you do not have a credible government. And they have taken a long history to understand that it has now become a political culture that after one thief is done, Nigeria, in fact, as a matter of fact, somebody shared a wonderful story with me. That should be 3 days ago. And the person said to me that he went for workshop in Italy. Listen and listen very attentively. They went for a training workshop in Italy. And when they got to Italy, it's a Italian African partnership program. So Italian government was running a program to Africans. So it means that not just only Nigerians, people from other parts of Africa, we are part of the program. So when they got to Italy, on their training class, the instructor was asking them, where are you from? This one says South Africa. He shakes, smiles, and good. Where are you from? Botswana. Where are you from? Ghana. Where are you from? Algeria, Egypt, and others. Now, when the man got to him, he asked him, where are you from? The man said, Nigeria. Do you know what? The Italian instructor burst into laughter and started laughing endlessly. And the whole thing was embarrassing to him. He now approached him to ask him, why are you laughing? You didn't extend the same measure to other attendees. Why is my own exclusive? Sorry, network. I don't know where I stopped. I didn't know where I stopped, but I keep on saying. So the instructor started laughing and laughing. So the guy approached him and said, why are you laughing? When other Africans introduced themselves, you didn't laugh. The man said, look, I'm laughing because I've been in Nigeria for over 10 years. And one thing I discovered in Nigeria is that why other parts of Africa have a wall a wall, I mean barricade, something like this. He said, Nigerians do not have a wall. And the guy was surprised. Why making such statement? What do you mean by that? The Italian told him, said, in every country on this planet Earth, the people have war. It's only Nigeria that does not have war. And he said, why? He said, it is only in Nigeria that when you push them instead of them to tell that you have pushed them to the war, they will continue moving. While every other country, when you get to the war, they pass back on you. Probably get you out of their way. But in Nigeria, there is nothing like war. So the more you're pushing them, the more they are moving. He said, one thief comes, hand over to a worst thief. Another thief finishes, hands over to another thief. And Nigerians keep on following them. So you can now understand, if an Italian instructor could define or describe Nigeria in such manner, you can even understand the level of communication and what he's reporting about Nigeria to Italian government. So when you see tomorrow, there is a need to disintegrate Nigeria, to end Nigeria, and you're wondering why countries are not coming to our rescue, is because no country wants to see a liability, an entity that is unworthy for self-governance to remain. That is what it is. So everything we are doing, we are marketing, we are projecting that, look, international community, we can rule ourselves. Now, it is beyond rhetorics. It's beyond stating it verbally. There is more to it than verbal submission. Very, very important. That is why when some idiots come up and start saying certain things, even things that are supposed to be confidential within a particular time, you see them, they're on camera, they start saying it. When you look at them, they want to give you the posture that they are insider, in quote. They want to give you the posture that they have information. They want to give you the posture that there are things they know, you don't know. You know, this arrogancy of, there's something I know you don't know. When you have such idiots, such number of idiots, then you have a work to convince the world that you cannot be ruled by fools. That is what it is. You have a job to tell the world. Because most of you think, you know, when you say, oh, why can't US come out and join into this, somebody raise issue, why can't, you must have some level of, it is called decorum. You can go and read about it. It is called decorum. If you people cannot manage a small matter, how can you manage a heavy state secret? These are elements of statehood. That is features of responsible self-leadership. But you know, most of us think, oh, we don't care, but you will care. You will definitely care. The world is designed that you must care. You can be in the nonsense, doing the useless nonsense you're doing. After all, who who will tell me what to do on my platform, continue doing it. Surely one day you must care. You know, like some of us can easily insult anybody that comes their way, you know, insult the barristers, insult, you know, this, insult that, call people names, blackmail people. And they think, oh, I've said it, that guy said it. Some people, as a matter of fact, even though I start saying stupid things here, I will still have people who will say I should ride on. That is how wonderful about. You see, if you are going mad, people will still applaud you. If you're constituting nuisance, people will still applaud you. You will still have people. In fact, that is the mystery of life. So when all these guys, you think you're doing it, then tomorrow you turn back and say, do you see our worthy class? They don't want to join what we are doing. And in your little small mind, the way you think the world is designed, when Biafra comes, they won't come. Who are you joking? Even that statement, you have invariably tell them that you are pursuing for a racial society. A racial society. But people do not understand this. You think you're doing it, you know, I can say whatever you want to say. No, you can't. That is for one. For another instance, you also should show integrity. Like the drama that is going on. Somebody came and said he gave somebody $100,000, over 150 million. And that is provable. From 100,000, the receipt you're bringing is 10 million. 10 million you're talking about as a 10 is about $5,000. We're talking about 100,000. Then the next thing you push, that you also paid 19 million, if I'm not mistaken, or $19,000. Let me be accurate. And the world is watching. Most of you do not know. You see, what this issue that is going on, the issue of money, pay this, pay that. Don't make a mistake. The world is watching. Interest parties are watching. The Nigerian government is watching. Stakeholders are watching. Everybody is watching. Oh, you mean that Ozokemen took $100,000? Okay. Then, from $100,000, you're showing 10 million receipt. You're showing 19. And you're struggling to even know how to get all that. In fact, even what you said, there's 10 million you sent. The person you sent it to, you quoted, said that immediately that money came in, that Onyendu ordered that the money should be shared to the lawyers, not even the person whose office was used in receiving it. And the girl in question tagged the people they distributed the money, Nemeka, Maswell, Aloejima, tagged them till now, all of them are quiet. Just none of these lawyers who were tagged by the lady Chinwe have even, they kept quiet because they knew, you know, silent is a sign of admittance. They kept quiet. And the world is watching the level of transparency. And of course, some people in their quarters are saying, oh, you don't have to press on that. If you press on that, it's an attack on Onyendu. You don't even, you see, some of the statements some of us made, and when I listen to it, I laugh. You stoke the argument for accountability. You came up, nobody was talking about that. You came up and said you gave somebody $100,000. And we say, okay, no, fine, no problem. And you furthermore and say, you are going to present evidences of the money. Nobody asked you, nobody pressured you. Does it mean? I don't even understand. And when you are asked, okay, hence you are disposed for fact and evidence presentation, go ahead and do it. And you are now diverting attention. And as if, what has transparency, accountability to do with Ipob? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Absolutely, it does not make sense to me. Because such a thing is something we would have just let be. At the end of this journey, the people have the right to ask questions, what you did with their resources. At the end of this journey, even the leader of this movement also have the right to call for forensic analysis of how the funds were used. But because somebody is panicking, somebody is jittering, all you're throwing is stand through. You bring somebody picture, you say this one, no, nonsense. Outright nonsense. Pure nonsense. And the funniest part of it is that when you throw accusation of blackmail on people and people are trying to present facts, the next thing you start hearing, oh, they want to attack Onion. What? I don't even understand the correlation between you, like the Maroon said, I stole somebody's car. And I'm waiting for his 21 days, as a matter of fact. And I asked him, get the woman in question, the person you're talking, get the evidences of them. Now, the next thing we hear, when I want to, if I start publishing my own side of defense, the next thing we hear, oh, Chick Austin is attacking Nnamdi. These are nonsense. You don't tell me those nonsense. Because if you want to, whosoever that alleges must defend. So you don't just talk. Then because you call the name of Mazi, and when they ask you, these are people, and I ask a question. Let me even ask a question, because one of those things I've done in my life is I invested my prime age. Why it is consigned to me is because I invested my prime age in the struggle. My late 20s. Sorry, my early 30s, so to say, and the late 20s. My late 20s and 30s, I invested. And of course, I have no regret for it. I have no regrets. Just like each and every one of us also invested. And I keep asking this. The siblings of Nnamdi, whenever you talk about finance, they are at the center of trying to tell what happens in finance. They are this. They always want, in fact, whenever you talk of finance, they speak louder than even Nnamdi. And when figures are not clarified, and you want to ask, why? As a matter of fact, on this issue, I've taken my time to speak to certain individuals, even within the leadership, and ask them, what actually happened? Can I have your own side of the narrative? Let me understand. I've spoken. And it is obvious. What happened in Germany, there was excess withdrawal of the movement fund without even informing the leadership. It was done. Nnamdi and Kanu, they keep on pulling in Germany. And when you ask them, they say the leadership has nothing to do with the fund. The fund, the only person they are accountable to is Mazi Nnamdi. And Mazi Nnamdi was in DSS facility. Those of them in Germany. The German national coordinator, they had to put a freeze to that account because it is not even done in any way. I have a company, incorporated company. I have an incorporated company. It's a limited liability, jointly owned. I'm a member of the board of the company. Do you know, I cannot have access to the fund of the company without informing joint signatures. So when they now freeze the account in Germany because of excess withdrawal, and always withdraw is from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal, they also went to Italy to do the same nonsense in Italian fund. The Italian national coordinator, I wish I can also get, also made sure they stop the Biafrans paying into that account because accountability is the top notch of every movement. And when they ask you, say you only are answerable to Nnamdi. In public asset, public finance, say you're only answerable. But today you're no longer answerable, you're now explaining to the public. Then the Italian coordinator got another account to make sure that nonsense stopped. Those of them in South Africa also did the same. Because I've called South Africa, I've called Italy, I have also spoken to that of Germany. The same thing also played out in ESN. And you are putting money in the name of Onyendu Lego. You drained thousands of dollars. And when they ask you, say you gave a job for, provide the receipt of the 100,000 you gave to a job for. The first thing you're showing is 10 million naira. I don't know. What is even the neighborhood between 100,000 and 10 million? It doesn't make sense to me. It does not in any way make sense to me. Yes. I've spoken to German national coordinator, Mazi. I have spoken to Italian. I have spoken in several locations in trying to find out what happened in honesty. Because one of those things I would not partake. Just if you blackmail me, it hurts me. I cannot be a party to blackmail anybody. I can never. That's why I take my time to ask questions. And Kanu was giving the posture, putting up the posture that he is automatically the leader of this movement. Even when there is leadership, he was maligning leadership, painting their image back because he wants to control. When he came on the media side to get us to start putting up whatever he wants, Those who love recharge card, went in, and what did he? He mocked them. Whenever he wants to address the media, he said recharge card media. Because they sold their reputation. They demoted themselves. They were in love with crows that fell from the table. Some of them refused to engage. Like Darlington. When you ask him, he will say, I shouldn't do anything. I shouldn't work. Is that not stupidity? Ask who now? Who are you? Who are you in the circle of this movement that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will tell you don't work? The same Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not tell you to control your penis, that you are littering children all over the places, being under pressure, not living like a man because you're under pressure to take care of kids you're having. And when somebody talk, you dare have mouth and start talking rubbish. So what am I saying? We must prove to the world, because it's not just asking for Biafra. Let me tell us one thing that we must understand as a matter of fact. You see, this struggle we are in, we don't expect it to be perfect. We do not expect it to be perfect. In as much as we do not expect it to be perfect, we should also understand the place of trust. Anything that trust eludes is a very difficult project to achieve. Trust is important. Trust is important. As a matter of fact, none of us who are pushing for self-determination that is better than those who are not even pushing it. We're just pushing it because the Creator gave us the body to do it. Not because we are better than those who are not doing it. Let us understand something. Because there is this mentality, most of us think that, because I'm a IPOB media, because I'm this, because I'm that, then you have entitlement, You have entitlement mentality, you're entitled. No. Nobody owns you anything. Nobody. Before most of us were born, our fathers have stood and also boldly confronted the Nigerian state. So what you're doing to us was not good. I was not on earth as far back as 1967. I was not here. There were people who also fought for Biafra. They fought as they could. So let us not have this mentality that I see we are the first people to ask for the right of our people. People have fought it. Before us, there are people, even under Wazirike, there are also people genuinely stood on their ground. So we must understand these things. What we are saying is this. We have to understand that now that the world satellite is in Nigeria, let us not send a wrong signal that we are not capable of managing sensitive issues. Because it's laughable. Do you know it's even laughable? It's even laughable if you're calling for American assistance and American intelligence is now realizing that a movement as big as this, that a brother of a leader is the one deciding how monies we are spent, instead of even the structure the leader himself established. You cannot tell any civilized, any developed country this kind of thing. They take you. They will say you are going to even be worse than Nigeria. Yes, because the more we seek for partnership, the more those we are also asking for partnership are also looking inwardly. How did these guys run their finance? How did they do their thing? How did they manage relationship? These are things they consider. These are things these people were asking for. They astray. No country relates with you without having a deep understanding of whom you are, what you're capable of doing. They say all these things. While I'm teaching us these things, because so that we understand the responsibilities we own to those we want to partner with. Very, very important. Very, very important. So let nobody start talking rubbish. Because I look at some of these people who do not. I will open my line. If they have contrary view, they call. There is a WhatsApp call. Let's look at issues objectively. I'm not saying by the time I open it must be people who will call me and praise me, check out Serena Bali, you're trying. That is not. I also want people who have a divergent opinion to call in. Call in and tell me, why did you, this one you said. But the last thing I would take is for somebody to call me and start saying, you're attacking onion. Oh yeah, why are you saying this? That is nonsense. It's pure nonsense. Pure nonsense. Just like what Biafran wrote. And of course, I really address it on my today's write-up, where he was saying, hey, and anybody attacking in this family, let what happened. And I made him to understand that hypocrisy is a dangerous form of witchcraft. I properly schooled him. Because most of them, they want to just be in the good group of Nnamdi. Let us tell him, Nnamdi, there are people who want to remove you. Nnamdi, we are the only one defending you. Nnamdi, in fact, you are our everything. All those sycophantic statements, hypocritical statements. And it now appears that if you don't come and play the same card, then you are anti Mazi, because that is how stupid some of these guys. And it is the same character that the lawyers also activated that got Nnamdi where he is today. Because instead of the lawyers to approach Nnamdi from professional point of view, Nnamdi, if we do this, this is what we are going to have. Professionally speaking. Nnamdi, if we don't do this, this is what we are going to have. Professionally, do you know what? When they go there, instead of them to discuss with Nnamdi professionally, they were there doing psychophancy. Alpha male. Time for a lawyer to have a constructive discussion with his client. Professional input. They turn it to praise singing. They just turn it to praise singing. And one thing with life is that every action or inaction have result. It's geared towards result. It's geared towards result. Time for people to tell Nnamdi, this is what ought to be done. Objectively. You don't save a leader by sycophancy and hypocrisy. You save a leader by constructive engagement. You save a leader by telling the leader there is fire where there is warmth. You don't just go in like Biafran, who always want to kiss him in public to prove that he loves him even more than the wife. That is the level of hypocrisy we see. Who would want to give him a pet, kiss him in public, Let him know that our people are very funny. You know, who would want to have a public kiss for him? Because he wants to prove that except those who kisses him in the public, no other people love him. And that is the danger of it. That is the danger of having hypocrisy. So we must, what we are pursuing is for the betterment of us, our children, and children's children. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave us reawakening. He opened our eye. He led this movement. Very, very important. Very, very important. His place can never be displaced. But what nobody can convince me of is if one idiot comes in and says, Onyendu said, just the way the fund of this movement was liquidated in the mantra of Onyendu said, then somebody comes and says, Onyendu said, because Onyendu said. Do you know, I know most of you might have forgotten so soon. Do you know that an advanced country like America, you know America is really advanced. Do you know that there was auto pen? Why Biden was busy shaking? Because Biden when Biden is not really himself, relatives of Biden will use auto pen to forge Biden's signature. This is an advanced country. That's why we say read, study, so that you can understand certain things. As advanced as United States, where you have FBI, where you have CIA, Biden's family use auto pen to defraud United States, to commit a lot of criminal records in United States. Biden's family is on record, auto pen. That's why Trump made sure that instead of putting Biden's picture as one of ex-presidents of US, he now put the picture of auto pen. But it was auto pen that signed a lot of things you saw in US. So if such a thing could be done in advanced society as US, tell me how somebody will not abuse the mantra Onyendu said. Onyendu said. Onyendu said. Onyendu said. Onyendu said. In fact, as a matter of fact, the pencil neck, the one who called himself Eloju, came up with what Onyendu said goes. Because they want to consolidate the mantra of Onyendu said. Of course, easy to destroy a lot of things in the movement. Onyendu said. Onyendu said. In fact, Onyendu said became more leaked, more of a something of individuals than even his lawyers. Individuals were shouting Onyendu said. You know, I have really, really been long in the struggle like some of us here. And I know how, you see, when you don't put a control, abuses are inevitable. Where there is no control, where there is no checkmate, where there is no scrutiny, if the leadership has said, no problem, just tell us Onyendu say we'll do it, abuses will be inevitable. In fact, it happened. It happened. It happened. The abuse, the Onyendu said matter was led to the abusing of the German fund. Italian funds, South African. These are people I've spoken with. They are coordinators. So if you don't put checkmate, if you don't put control system, the reason for control is to avoid excessiveness. So if the leadership, like for some of you who say the leadership down to Ogonye, so Kanu came up, told us, Onyendu said, allow Simon Ep. The leadership said, no, it is dangerous. What we are saying in the future, that is Onyendu said factor. Then the same Kanu came and said, Onyendu said, we should not be listening. Yes, that is where we go. Onyendu said. That means Onyendu said we should destroy what he has built, the radio, and focus. The same Onyendu said also was, sorry, network, I don't know. So the same, the same Onyendu said was used to tell us that Simon should come on radio. The same Onyendu said was also promoted as a replacement to replace Radio Biafra for Biafran radio. Remember? It was still the same Onyendu said. You remember the story of replacing the DOS with Directorate of Israel. In fact, as a matter of fact, the Directorate of Israel was mantra that came up from Biafran. The man who was leading Directorate of Israel at that time, Mr. Charles, I think, yes, one Mr. Charles. Do you know that the same man, when he was confronted, said he was paying Biafran money for creating that office for him on a monthly basis? These are what I was told when I was investigating. I have done a whole lot of investigations. Not everything is healthy for now, but time. And I'm also writing a book. I'm a career historian. I'm also writing a book. For those of you who do not know, this is the first time I'm saying it on air. I'm also writing a book because our children will read. My book does not mean it will be is an absolute. Is also bound to be refuted. But I'm writing a book on the process we are going. The Rabbi Charles that held the Directorate of Israel, when I carried out my investigation, he said that it was Biafran that lobbied for the creation of that for him and that he remits to him. He pays him on a monthly basis. Well, I have done a lot of investigations. So when you hear Onyendu said mantra, it was criminally constructed to undermine the leadership. It was criminally and the funniest thing is that a time will come, Mazi Nnamdi is not going to be there perpetually. He will deny a lot of things we heard Onyendu said. Onyendu said. After all, did he give anybody any tangible mandate? Of course, he will deny a lot of things. You can see the issue of finance now. Probably they told him that they paid, they paid $100,000. But you can see they are struggling. If I say I paid you 20,000, what is the difficulty of me? Why am I throwing the slip of 10 million? Then I will throw the slip of 19. It is $100,000. Publish it. Publish it. Perhaps they told him that the monies they have been withdrawing, that the lawyers are the ones taking it. They also said they use it for ESN. So let us be wise. Rabbi Charles is nowhere to be found. Robert Charles is nowhere to be found. So, for those of us who would want to call in, but before you call in, I don't know how decent it is. I might not do that part, because if not, I would have put a call to some of these coordinators, but I did not seek the approval earlier, so it's unethical to start ambushing somebody, calling somebody without, pre-information. So I won't do that, except any of them wants to call in and perhaps share as they wish. But ordinarily, I would have called them, including that of South Africa. And when you hear some of the dirty things Kanu and Nnamdi did with the movement fund, you will be sick. I carry out the investigation by myself. And of course, it is also going to have a segment in the book I'm writing. It's going to have a segment, a very accredited segment. And of course, I will also reach out to Nnamdi surely. If Kanu oblige, I will also reach out to him for objective reportage. So for those of us who want to call, just look at your screen. You're going to see the number there. Then you can call in through the number. You can call in, very, very important. So I would not call these coordinators because I never had earlier information to do that. I never had earlier information. So that is what it is, as a matter of fact. So let us understand where we're going. We have our destination is Biafra, and of course, is our destiny. And we need to prove beyond every reasonable doubt. We need to prove. Okay. Good afternoon from here.
Thank you very much. Chica Austin, right?
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Kinsley. I'm calling you from Spain.
You're welcome, Mazi Kinsley.
Thank you. Yes, my brother. I see they are hacking your line, even to share your broadcast. It was Facebook mandatory that your platform is sharing a fake news or something.
Yes.
See, this is what we are going through. I need to explain this to you, even so other people who don't want to say it, but let them hear, because you are doing a great job. You see, my brother, thank you for your effort and for what you are doing. You are doing a very great job. And I talk to you, learn very, very well. That's why, whenever you speak, it's very potentially, and I'm understanding. Others may understand too. You see, my brother, we have a last window opportunity to achieve our goal. One, you see, thank you. This thing have happened. The American Congress have approved of Nigeria, of the American invasion before Iran. But they have to go to the head of the snake and cut it off. Most of us now, what do you have to know now is just America never come even to do what to make peace between Muslim and Christian, rather to divide them. I will allow you or give you advice to be advising even our DOH, OAD, or whoever, even our politicians, to start forming their government. I'm telling you honestly, that is a fact. There's nothing, unless Yorubas are very smart. You see, jumping to NPC, they want to be ruling of the southern Nigeria. Nigeria is already disintegrated as far as America step in. Take it or leave it. This is something that you have to know. Being UA graduates, PhD holders, and all of them. This is an encyclopedia. They never ever. Even in Iraq now, they are telling Kurdish to go in. You see, this is something that we have to teach our own people. We don't need to complain. People have died. And this guy living there in the north, he have already done his job. Dead or alive, therefore we come. God who made me. Keep it on. God bless you.
Level Mazi. Thanks for the cause and the words of advice. We must be strong. We must keep going. Very, very important. We must keep going. Okay, we have Mazi Patrick. He came, he called earlier. Mazi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mazi. Can I contribute to your program?
Yes, you're on live. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mazi. You see how sound and educative you are. You know, without calling their papa, their mama, without insulting anybody. These are the type of objective analysis and discussion we want to be seeing. Not coming to do saga, creating unnecessary controversy all over the place. I'm very, very proud of you and I really appreciate it. You were contemplating if you would call the coordinators to ask them questions as regard to what you are raising as concern and as topic. Of course, you can do that, but you can ask their consent. You explain to them, look at what I'm discussing. Are they ready to reveal some of these findings to Biafrans, or do they want to keep it based on, you understand what I'm saying? Are they in a position, if they consent to it, why not? They can share it with our people. So if you feel like it is convenient for you and you feel you can call them, you call them, but you have to take that permission, explain to them the context of your discussion, and if they want to share their experience, because it's important that we have to keep talking. We have to keep talking. Everybody must talk. Because, you know, sometimes our people think that the Biafra we are pursuing is that we have to build Biafra when Biafra comes. Many of our people do not know that the standard we are setting now will determine the Biafra we tend to build. So if we do not use certain corrective measures in the course of our struggle, we might not be able to correct them in the future when that Biafra has already come. Because the measure of the Biafra and the standard we want to set for the Biafra of the future starts today, even in the struggle. So if people are waiting for Biafra to come before we start putting instruments in place, then we are not going to, because while we are also working to restore Biafra, there are some people, some hyenas, who knows that Biafra will come, but they will not contribute. They will not be strategizing themselves to take over the effort and be in charge of the victory we have achieved. Mazi, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious.
There are people with the money bag, like you talked about the political class. You think the political class will just fold their hand and sit back and see you come and govern them without putting up a fight when Biafra comes, because you think that they did not contribute to Biafra restoration. They might even be the one running to United Nations to go and negotiate on your behalf.
Exactly.
You don't put your acts together. At some point, you see them coming. When they have seen the green light that there is no more, that the success is already up, and you see them coming and overtake you, and you should be saying that you, not Jews or coming, because they go United Nations, they talk Biafra. Now, not just for come out, because they speak with United Nations president. While you are there arguing about missing funds in Germany, Mazi, you understand what I'm saying? So our people need to attune their mindset and see the future before it gets to us. And that's why we are battling together. We must set the structures right. Do not expect somebody who has been benefiting from a defaulted system to just allow you to come and bring change. The Kanu family have been benefiting from the defaulted structure. So you don't expect them to see something different. And that is why you see them congregating under some other new organization, because it's part of the format. You know, because this new organization too, before those ones will wake up, they don't go create another one that they will not be accountable to. You know, so they continue to rigmarole left, right, and center. But at this point in time, the Biafran people must take it easy. That is why education is very, very important. And that is why program like this is very, very important. Because program like this will open the mindset of our people to see the bigger picture of what we are. So nobody will be deceived. So that at the end of the day, people will say, if we say we know that time, we'll start to fight this thing that time, when we do Biafra struggle. But it must have been late because we allow a lot of excesses and we allow a lot of things to go wrong without checkmating and confronting them. We might do them this today, it doesn't matter. What is important is that we are doing the right thing, and the right thing must be done. And the right thing must be, you know, certain standard for accountability. Certain standard for accountability, because that standard for accountability will tell the story of our integrity as we don't find us in our time. Mazi, I want to say thank you very much. If you want to call the coordinators, call them, explain to them the topic you are discussing.
It's all right. I will.
Yes, I will. With you, why not? It is welcome. It is a welcome development. Mazi, thank you very much.
There, Mazi. Patrick Ike. Mazi, thanks so much for that wonderful contribution. Like he rightly said, we cannot do it better than we are doing it now. So, okay, Mazi Kelechi, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, there, the platform is yours.
Okay, thank you for having me.
There.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Biafrans. This is Ogumike Kelechi. Okay, it's a good day to get together, listen to sound reasoning once again, because Mazi, I must tell you, your broadcast, your explanations, your analysis is beginning to be an antidote to most of these hyperbolism on social media. You know, when one listens to direction, principled explanations, reasons, and you know, we most of us get connected back to the bond, the structural bond that has been propelling the movement. So I appreciate your time and intellect in serving the Biafran people. Then my contribution to today's topic, though I came late, but I got a summary of the whole thing you talked about, you know, respecting constituted authority, people understanding that structure principle is more important than you know, personal relevance, personal motivations. So we have to understand that what is behind us, what is after us, and what is you know, fighting us is you know, enormous. That we don't need to get distracted even within ourselves. For example, the last caller before Mazi, Patrick, mentioned something very striking. He said that Nigeria is divided, disintegrated, and the Yorubas are jostling to rule southern Nigeria because there is this intelligence they are getting that the US may want to divide Nigeria into three, maybe southern staying together, and then middle belt being alone, and then not being somehow with the Niger side. So, but the Yorubas are getting this highlight, and they now want to prepare beforehand. And I think I am buying his assertion or his view on that aspect, because when you look at the issue of Tinubu creating Southern Traditional Council and the structure of that council by making the Oni of Ife the sole permanent chairman of that Traditional Rulers Council, you begin to buy into this the last scholars notion of the Yorubas trying to position themselves to rule or to control the affairs of the southern Nigeria. So those things we have to take into consideration, to account why they keep playing, because people always get easily distracted, and with these side talks, all this saga stuff, they don't actually make headways for our mental health. So I think we need to keep studying and keep focusing on what matters. We have the events in the Middle East, how it's affecting our life and how it's going to affect our struggle. There is also a line we have to draw from there, to enlighten our people, to prepare our minds, because in whatever we are doing, we have to be prepared of both sides of the whole game, whether compromise comes or fulfillment of the goal comes. So our people must not be so much emotionally attached to events and what have you, especially when people they seem to take in with high esteem, compromises or fails their expectations. So that brings us to the issue of understanding, respecting, and complying with constituted authority. If you want to have a sane society, if you want to join in the world of civilized world, Committee of Nations, we must develop that mentality of respecting constituted authority, structures, following principles. When we say we are going to talk on Radio Biafra, and on Radio Biafra you must do certain things, you cannot expect to be given a privilege because you are closer to our leader or you are closer to the HOD. So you now build the protocols that has been existed before your arrival. So these are issues where we have to enlighten our people to understand, because that is the core mentality that has driven Nigerian society, where there is no respect to principles, there is no respect to structure, to protocols. Everybody does anything the way they want as far as we are in power. So this is what we have to start building, telling our people that's the rascality the siblings, the Irans are doing. That's what they are displaying, because these viruses are still living in some of us, in most of us, but with our focused explanations, expatiations, and analysis, bringing out ideas, sharing, just like you are doing with your broadcast, we can keep aligning our people to the civilized mentalities that we needed in a saner country we are actively engaging to seek or to respond. So that's another.
I appreciate that wonderful contribution from Mazi Kelechi. That is great. It's also important we remind ourselves that we'll be having X program today by 5 Biafran time, 5 p.m. Biafran time today, being Sunday. So it's important to also be on that program. Very, very important. So I really want to appreciate us. I think in the next 25 minutes, we'll be coming to the end of this program as we are having the next caller. Okay, good afternoon from here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mazi, I can hear you.
There we go.
I was following the person that was Mazi Kelechi, I think so.
Yeah.
Never knew that you have finished talking. This is a network something.
Yes.
Mazi, I say may Elohim bless you so much.
And you too.
And where we are now is not time to start picking around or paying attention to irrelevant. Just like I myself, there are issues I will come across in social media. You see that I will just be tired and less concerned to comment, because we are no longer in that today if you touch anybody all over the world or even in the streets, they tell you that the agitators are mad. These are when we are beginning, when we are, more of
seeking out,
talking to them.
Yeah, we needed attention.
That was the only means which be able to penetrate into their minds, because that was how they were behaving, and it is what's talking to them in that direction. So now you will find out that we have moved away from that position. That is why when I come across more important issues, like issues concerning the Christian genocide and many more of them, I put down, I take my time to, because that is concerned and what's happening in Nigeria. We are getting the attention of so many individuals, countries, organizations, and all of those things. So we are no longer in that position to start telling people, oh, your mama, your papa, your papa, all of those things. So even I don't even have such energy any longer. Energy comes from the mind and in your brain also. There are issues, just like if you're a teacher and you are in a classroom and you have taught your and you are expecting them to ask intelligent questions, and in that of very irritative and funny as in an unimportant question, you will just be tired because of your teaching. All the moons or hours of your teaching have been wasted. But here we are, being taught by the greatest man on earth, being led by the one of the most loyal and well articulated group. But you see that there are some issues that if you keep quiet, it looks as if that is how it is. And that is why I don't blame or even talk against most of our brothers that get to reply those people. They come to talk about the issue at hand, which you talk about that there are several categories of people. You still know that our people are in this attitude of when the pain is as hard as they don't want to come in, but they always come when the go. Because there are some individuals I meet, I talk to them, they will not say that that is why it is important to make sure that we hold on to the institution. And I think since the adoption of Mazi and Kanu, there is this level of awareness that came to many of our IPOB followers and all the lovers of freedom. And this very leadership made it so open and clear that we now get to understand that we have left from the era of Mazi and Kanu being there and everybody enjoying his broadcast and all of those things. We now know that the strength and the effort of moving forward lies on every one of us.
Exactly.
And it is still, if we hearken and do what that we have moved from the era of an individual leadership to an institutional body. That is why if you watch it, it's all automatically being worked out. Even the leadership, if you watch their attitude, it is no longer locally, being positioned. It is more of showing the international community that we have, been able to of running a nation of our own, just as you said. And one of the things that if you find out that is playing against the Nigerian state, it is more of all these foreign investors that have left, people in the previous and the current, in partnership with Nigeria that have been genuine people that have known that allowing such nation to function or to continue moving, it is detrimental to the international community, to the international trade and all of those things, because it is like a body when a part of your body has been paralyzed. Just as I told my friend that what we have in this the world is a global village, that when a particular continent or country is not doing well, it is a burden to the entire world, no matter how you see it.
That's
Today,
right.
Africa is very, very poor by the global narratives. That is what prompts the crossing of Mediterranean.
Exactly. The influx of migration, or should I say migration crisis in Europe?
Yeah, so those open-minded people that is, in position of international organizations and positions, they see it that yes, what we are doing, it is very, 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 very important.
Exactly.
And they need to have a very viable African nation that will propel that growth that they really need. If you look at Asia, they are probably doing well. Today, the Europe is benefiting from it. Also, the Middle East and other continents of the world. So, most of these open-minded people see that we need to support this very cause, which we are doing, and that is why I really am promote the leadership, because they have moved away from this whole shenanigan of Nigerian politics. Even the Nigerian state understands it's just these few individuals that think that by coming out to paste $50,000 and $100,000 has anything to.
There were Mazis. I don't know whether our network, but I think he made a very striking statement here.
I want to use this opportunity
Okay.
to encourage our brothers. This is not the time to draw back. We are almost where we are getting to, where we are going to. Bob Marley said that everything in life has its time and season.
Exactly.
So we are in this very season, and every season comes with its own knowledge. And as we are going to pass this very season, we are going to go to a better position or season, which would still be, out of what our good works and out of our, residents. Thank you so much.
There were. Thanks so
I
much.
want to use this opportunity to announce that we still have an X program that will be running by 5.
Yeah.
So we should endeavor to, join up, because if there are anything we need to get back, this wisdom, understanding of where we are going to. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Mazi. I will get to the Italian national coordinator right now. He tried getting across, but because S program is this evening, take note of that. Very, very important. Very, very important. We are on S program this evening. So I'm going to Italian national coordinator. Mazi, are you there?
Yes, Mazi, I'm
there. Mazi Kekoda. I quoted you and some other people on this platform, but it was on reference purpose, not necessarily having you people to start detailing, because it's important I seek you people's consent as regards to that sensitive matter, where you people can also ask the leadership if there is any need for you people to dive into that. But for reference purpose, we try to make reference to the country at which you're controlling, Italy, just the way I made reference to Mazi Collins and even South Africa. Ndewo. So the platform is for you, Mazi.
I'm always sincere to you. Since yesterday, I'm not just happy. I'm a human being. How can a mother can help? If not because of Biafrans, when I do, that is here she not going to give it. If you can die, check out the China since they want to. Can you go wine up? But I have go wine up. You show everything on social media. Can people just have wire? Because they think that after 4 years, 5 years, maybe we don't have record again. I don't understand where they are going. Like this one, they are dragging Ifan now. If Ifan eventually come out with that particular account, check, and you know that many people will be involved, even the innocent ones. Because I know how that particular account happened. At least we always call for information. That is exactly what they want, to engage everybody. But Mazina the Kanu place will be free. Or when they read they go. Because with the passport give me back and they will get to the on that was the problem now. but they didn't show each one naira. But their name was used by opening that account. The problem now is Collins Chiledu. Up to now, they are still warning that they must remove Collins Chiledu in Germany. As I speak now, is here a problem removing Collins Chiledu? Is here a problem? Their problem is to remove Collins Chiledu. What have that guy done to them that they can never wait? Like Mazi, Nnamdi, Kanu, whenever you go to complain his siblings, he will tell you wait until I come out. Why can't him, as well as a leader, to wait until he come out?
Yeah, from what I heard, I learned the problem Kanunta has with Collins Chinedu is because of the ongoing court case, which they asked that Collins should withdraw, and Collins insisting that he's not the one that went to court. So whosoever that went to court should...
Mazi, yes, Mazi, I'm coming to that. Why should Collins withdraw the court? Why should Collins withdraw the court? I'm asking. When they took those people to court, that time Onyendu was in DSS in Abuja. Onyendu was called his attention. They called his attention more than 3 months, 3 good months, to inform him what Canada is doing to these German people. You know that up to today, Onyendu never responded. That message is from DOS, many people, even from Ipob. So I don't want to call names. They don't come now to quote that they are not here or nobody told him. No. The thing was on his table. But he never made any statement. Until when these guys reciprocated now for that court case now, he find out maybe that particular court case will be against them. Now that is what he's fighting, for them to withdraw that court case. But in Nigeria, they want to jail everybody in Nigeria. But we have law is working in Western world. They don't want to go to the court. They don't want to control the court. But in Africa, they want to jail everybody. So I'm using this platform to encourage Collins Chinedu, the German National Coordinator, to be fair. Because we're supposed to talk people like God always talk. But I don't know why they are targeting that guy, why they are inside trying to, you must remove him, you must remove him, you must stop that court. The Biafran child today, who took him to court, nobody will talk until maybe one day now, see Biafran child rising up to retaliate with court. You will see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now telling them to go and tell him to withdraw that thing. Otherwise, he will be fired. But they called the Ipob with the guy for how many years now? Have you seen anybody ask?
Let me get something clear. Is Biafran child court case different from that of Collins Chinedu as well?
Yes, now. It's 2 different things.
Okay.
Yeah. The court is 2 different things. You know, that time Kanu was mad. Anybody that talked to him, he would try to go to court with person.
So what did they charge? What did he took Biafran? Because I understand he took Collins Chinedu over financial, that he restricted them access to fund, isn't it?
Yes.
Then that of Biafran child, why was Biafran child taken to court?
Biafran child was taken to court now because of I would say media this thing. I don't know how you always call that particular
like cyber stalking.
Exactly. Exactly, cyber stalking. Like this thing, this one, I don't think I issue when I know that Lagos will that when he handled that guy there now, it's just going to be 1 day I will do. I was not full of 10 years ago. They are wiring them at 128,000 naira. This is what all of them know to do best in IPOB. How much is the screen of iPhone? I'm asking you, a level screen of iPhone because somebody got people to run a camera with a phone of 10 years ago of Samsung appear on the back. When it on the back, you know the type of phone we are talking about here. What are we saying? Can somebody see a screen here 100 and this will be a new phone? How much is a Belgian phone in Nigeria? Huh? Okay. 70,000, 80,000, you get a Belgian phone in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's all right, Mazi. It's all right.
Mazi, I'll never finish. Just give me 2 minutes. I just want to point out all those places. Please, just give me 2 minutes.
It's all right.
What I want to tell the Biafrans, even you as well, is, the 1st of January, we said it, that the war that is coming will be brutal. It's internal war. Me and Mazi Chinasa, we said this thing, we wrote it. If you go to January 1st of this year, you will see all those write-up. Because we know what is going on. We know that these people is inside inside shit. They want everybody to fall with them. Kanu has a house here in Italy. The former national coordinator bought a house here in Italy with the same Italian money. The treasurer bought a house. What they do is that if they want to buy a house, they will use Italian Ipob money. The Italian people call it anticipo. That means deposit. They will use like 50,000, 30,000 to deposit the house.
Mazi, sorry, excuse me. Remember you're on air, and he who alleges must definitely prove. You just.
No.
No.
So even if they know what I'm saying,
No, let us hold on. Let us get something clear. This is a very sensitive. Allegation, I believe. You mean? I don't know why. Mazi, who is calling? I will definitely get back now. I don't know why repeatedly, but I will definitely get back. Okay, Mazi, what? Mazi, can I get back to you shortly? You have not called like this before, so let me finish up with Mazi. Let me finish up with the Italian coordinator. Mazi, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, you said Kanu has a house in Italy. You mean a rented house or?
All these things are documented. The back statement of Rotashi will share yourself. If I say that one, he don't come and tell me that are you sure or I'm not in court until when they want us to go to court. Why are they afraid in Italy here to say anything? I have every statement of everything they did from Germany down to this place. All of now, if you like, I print it again and again. If the ESN worldwide account is still in Italy, the name of the bank is Montepaschi. If you like, they are handling it. Their names on that bank now. But if you want, I will go and print out the statement of account and show it to Biafrans. I'm not accessible to the account, but I will bring it and show the Biafrans. I'm coming to carry hand at this place.
Okay,
So I'm not talking what I don't know. All of them from A to Z. That's why you see him. He can come and claim about $40,000 or euro. That money was the same money. I have the documentation. We still sent to him in London within the area when they are processing only those cases in London, my brother. That money came out, I think, 38,000 pounds because pounds is higher than euro. But they will not come to tell you how it happened. Mazi, if I'm not transparent in Italy here, sometimes I put my money. They are all listening to me. I do give them audit almost every time. As I speak to you this evening, we have meeting. We have general meeting in Italy. So I don't. When it comes to money, I always be careful. My name is not in the account of Italy because of what happened to the former national court. I refuse to put my name on that. Nobody come to tell me that Ipob. That's why I said if I want to be the national court, don't involve me in that place. If you ask me how much is in Italy account now, I don't know. I don't know. I need to call them to ask. So let them not start all those propaganda. I'm not here for me to challenge you, Nnamdi. No, God forbid. But what I'm against is that maybe you will see it, say it. Caution, caution. I don't know whether your brothers are bigger than you, but Nigeria comment and US is not bigger than you. You caution these boys. Caution, one single caution. Mazi, let us forget about US. Let us just wipe the US out. What of the individuals of IPO is how many? For 5 years now. Onyendu have never come out one day to appreciate this family. And so, we are not talking about the US. What happened to the US? We have millions of people under the US. They just abandon everybody, intimidating everybody, accusing everybody. Is it the kind of Biafra they want to get to us? Is it the promise they gave to all of us? I'm going to when you say it like you said before, somebody will tell you that you're attacking on him. You did not, people all know who Jesus attacked. Unfortunately, a human being like you, man like me, when you're going wrong, we need to correct you, it become a problem. I'm always be corrected here. There are certain things I want to do. The leadership, the DOS will tell me, no, don't go, leave it for now. No matter how angry I am, I will back low, I will leave it. Does you mean that the one-on-one, somebody will come and control my life? No, but I have to back low because of the organization and the principal level of where you belong. We are talking important things. How to lead this man? Well, what we are hearing every day is only a reply go, your family cap $40,000. But the millions of dollars that left from Germany, we are not talking about that one up to today, my brother. We are not talking about America. We are not talking about South Africa, Italy. Because this is the hard places we're going to. All these countries now. Go and see the kind of bedroom car, black car, the Germany. The house is living now, and then the house there. Okay, now. You know how much to buy a house here in Europe? So, Mazi, like I said, I am not happy on this since 2 days. Anyhow, they want it from me, here. I'm just saying it openly on air. Anyhow they come, I will give it to them. Enough is all this nonsense. Can we this year make sure all these things? Maybe next year we will know how we will forge ahead. But they see all this propaganda because God will do record. When he don't debunk lies, after 2 years he are coming back to debunk it. I can say, why didn't you say it that time? I don't know whether you are getting me. It's like this thing Darlington said about you 2 weeks ago. You keep quiet. You believe that you have won. But you don't know that you are documenting it for him. That is life for you, my brother. Because you know, then after actually goes that's why I always call it a show. You know, there's a lie that looks like truth. It depends on you to be careful to monitor whether I hear always show or wash. But not that he always show, my brother. This Benjamin now, today, I never talk about Benjamin before. This will be the first time I'll talk about them. That Benjamin I want there. The way I love that flavor. Gather here, the leadership will give him money for Abuja. He will still call me, I will still give him money. With them, we'll go, 2 of us. He knows if he is listening. How can I hear him now? I want to call Abu. We will still understand all those things. Keep quiet because we are at home. You have so many problems and you are one of the empire of the everybody become your enemy because any go black advice again will show them. Chetazian, you kiss Sonia in the prison. So nobody should talk. Do you know how many people that kill Jesus Christ?
Okay.
So if the kind of Biafra they want to get for us, Mazi Cheka, I will tell you that we need to be sure. I swear to God, otherwise, you see Somalia will be worse than us. That is what I want to submit this evening. Thank you so much.
Earlier, if you have followed this program earlier, I stated it unequivocally that these are some of the things you see in a struggle, but we can't say because it's sorry. Okay, Mazi, are you there? You are calling from Germany, am I correct? Hello, Mazi. Okay, Mazi, are you there? You're calling from Germany, am I correct?
Yes, of course, I'm calling from Germany.
Okay.
Mazi, hope you had a mind. Now, what is going on? Come with you. Eke chalam our national government Odogwu Moko Mazi Keke not the corner president also when we put our head office now president come here for the first time so only allow anything against him or against anybody we are not going to withdraw that. Even Simon family, all Kanu that have destroyed the IPOB more than any other thing. Do you know that he and his gang went calling all the whole coordinators worldwide, both national and international, deceiving them, threatening most of them to not to support TOS, to come to their side. He is the one doing it today. Any day our leader got the evidence people get what's that about Canada. Even our leader say, our leader again on God of partial, we don't believe, even all the radio will with that guy actually not warrior. That is why they don't want him to come out, because in the B9, that back here I can't try. You back here of my IPOB Germany.
Okay, Mazi, because I'm joining. Are you with us? Well, we'll soon be rounding up. Maybe we'll be taking this. Are you with us?
Of course.
Okay. Do you hold any position in IPOB Germany?
I don't hold any position, but I am an IPOB member.
In Germany?
Strong IPOB member in Germany, Nuremberg. My coordinator is Mazi Austin Wood.
Okay.
Anybody can confirm.
Because I know why I asked that question. You being a non-executive member means you're more on a neutral ground. Okay. So you mean that they close your account in Germany?
They close the account. Even it is on the public record, not on after that online. You say that he don't have any to give anybody account except to Mazi and the Kanu. When the leadership needed money to fund ESN and to fund what is happening at home, he blocked everything in a Canada. Had a VAT account. Now, also now, Canada Jackie, the Barak, the continental one. The court. Also, now. Because when they begin to investigate in that, and when going in and out, who are you? You are not signatory to that account. You are not the national coordinator. You are not anybody. Why is it that Nnamdi left the leadership or anybody, the national coordinator or the principal officers, that she should have been sending money? They are sending on a private individual. 800,000, 200,000. How that bag millions? Then the animal they went the gods. This is our national coordinator Germany upon this because only can have Pachirena. Who made the other guy at to Prachu before on a top only can replace because only can is smart. On a top where I the guy of Lamjum. You understand what I mean? Now you're not talking. Now, the withdraw that case. Case it like a waffle. So, young people not talking withdraw the case. I'm going to bring that court down. Yeah, they would because also by that time the government think that you see why are you withdrawing the case? Because you cannot withdraw the case also without the consent of the president. So, all my whole dodge because the national coordinator Jackie, I withdraw the case to my own knowledge as an individual, my own. Then automatically openly the elected. Adam was the king fan because the judge and the handler of the case, in which process and everything, cannot just come. I want to withdraw the case. You have to give your reasons now. You have to sign some documents and give your reasons. So automatically you are a guilty one.
then young one would be a canon that get you and a attack. So, I would you buy the case, you withdraw. All man have a petition, I didn't take a bio. Oh, I got a and then, yeah. Oh, no, let's say we draw that case. I've been weak here. I've read directly what you order. The same thing of Mazi or our national cabinet or Italy now. And there's a Biafra child watch it. Oh, I wish you won't get out. The Ruben I got the 10 up fire. The 10 up fire. You know, when you're on the group, at the end of the day, because now they are now seeing the series of money you are withdrawing. And them and every organization most of them is a non-tax something. So you don't withdraw the money, you have to keep an account of those money every end of the year. The more did the organizational money without going to the proper channel. Who is Kanu transfer to his personal account? Who is Kanu in IPOB? Which position does he hold? So all HGN now, all the about is going to withdraw the case. Now, our leadership now lobby. What try Yala Mont of the Mazi Chinedu so.
Collins, yes, Collins Chinedu.
Now, Collins also. Oh, now what time they want me again to other catch for a trouble. When you can wait in an hour so that he will seal everything. Oh, we and then you might have organ or lager and the main higher because I may be a bushy canal, the leadership role. Yawaka will for issue, I get for issue. I will pay Honka, I get better and don't you pay Yaka because they make right from time. They make even what they are also wanting the men. Once it just gives some minutes, come my mind because one appointment.
Mune med hobby because you know because med hobby you know I am wicked because I'm one in the South Africa no one upon now you will kid now round the up.
Okay, round the up just 2 minutes. Yemreni Nnamdi ya failed online. Also they are more failed online. My Igbo politicians before now there was no consequences for any of their actions. Somebody can come get us one day, you blow the entire community because of political power and all this. Nothing happens. The next one you have it. I am amazing and go Kagala bag say a blackmail among leadership should work for a man at home within a media. Any bad attack or any blackmail they work for it doesn't matter where it's coming from. They say what at their owners. They may attack like that. What are also the way Makanota? Any of them make clone anybody or blackmail anybody. Any information about the whole world down here, accept to other case because I know about I now put their own side of the truth. That's all the truth. One that is not truth. Then only to be innocent and now inside. I say like no. All they were for Hako, they were for Mazi, only one black hole level is real so. And now I clear by almost because we cannot continue like this. Do you know national coordinator of Italy? Do you know how much you have spent? They go get you on nation. I calculate in a year in IPOB. More than them were normal individual and then we have post. I know how much I spent to drive here to Lumberg to contribute ESL to make everything. I went Cologne. I got Cologne last time protest. I got this and I got Benton. I got many places. And I want to make the leadership and about transportation and plane now everywhere. At the end of the day, no go man go get fire for short. God
I have to cut you off, Mune, because I can see you're just raging. You're just raging. And I want to call the South African coordinator because they always put South Africa as well. He just called me, the national coordinator of South Africa. I think he will be the last call because we are heading to S program so that we can have a preparation ahead of time. Let us get to South African national coordinator. Okay, Mazi, are you here?
Yeah, Mazi. Hey, they will watch it again.
They will okay there.
Yeah. Mazi. Anyway, you don't know Madam anyway.
I've already introduced you.
Okay. Listen, what's happening is a struggle. Yeah.
these people, they might iko na-eju, iko ndị ejula, iko nwanne Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ejula. And they been trying to work and we've been trying to play matured. God got any kind of book as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu no win. These people never liked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for one day. Only a lot of things I want to share. We're all fine because no news are involved. And only one thing that I all regret. I always say, for the fact, you know, I like being logical when I like it with the people now just because of crowd. I like it that shit. You know, when we say, okay, let's assume no ego come Nnamdi Kanu show up there at this thing. He has the opportunity to take any money through the area, like Puro when you speak.
Exactly.
You can see on when the leg guy got through them when he came Mazi Nnamdi Kanu times 10. I don't think. I'm being logical. That's how I reason. For that single fact alone, I will hold him anything he may go think of a mistake. I will try as much as I can not to dive into it until if the time comes, they are the necessary. People will ask questions, if they have any, they come here and explain. You know, the what goes to the what goes to. You know, this one day, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Strategy Hajinabia, they came with that same strategy in South Africa. How they put use on a Goshi? Why your Muhammad is Goshi? Hani is Goshi, Hani is Goshi. He can on a being on a street clay, you want Hani is more and more and more. Only so serve as the zonal coordinator then. I serve the zone. Serve what is people. I'm my private car. Now I drop my, you know, comrades. Now everything in our Ghana here. Do you know at this stage, these people now chatting 20 rand. Now I'm not 20 rand. English, I know engineering. Not 20 rand. You see, or that these people are, does it mean on a hammer or at least Apple one apple more? But don't worry, about somebody.
I know you. I know your circle. I know your circle. I know your level of coverage.
Yeah. As if you go to Niha, there is a wagon photos of photos in and they will make sure that they mess your name up. How many take it up? They say those people will be in a go as their attack dog. And they promise them that they will share as the national coordinator. Due to these people, how that will happen? Some of us, they go and like it last time we had a problem and Pretoria. I did last 2 years, then in Pretoria. For me to survive the thing, that thing cost of I from 2 million naira from Ulo to cover up those injury costs or more personally to cover it all. But how I look behind their little mind, how they feeling now about it with people. So how many have promised that and how can you have position of national coordinator or thereabout? He had given me about to attack. They will be attacking people, you know. Then unfortunately, sorry. Unfortunately, they just want to lure them to their side. Just like the thing in Johannesburg zone, the units. They are collect, gather honey and promise them. See what they only come today with they are now and Nnamdi Kanu they take off the ship. They will highlight they go they want Nnamdi Kanu live outside. Or just Kahanara had the money. Tienapa solve what their problem. And in hand they had a coach to the because someone there are some information on ice gas. We ship advocacy wire or the code they Nnamdi Kanu which we are just putting a pay, you know, called the good. Even in the Amerima, in the account to South Africa or whatever. Immediately capture or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu everything. We have all those details. You know, they push you
Even because I got the account now from the beginning, they the account. And may your deed now go and erase because you can't South Africa. Because France, they had currency, you know, each 12,000 rands gives you 1 billion naira. Each 12,000 rands gives you 1 billion naira. So, I got good in another account here. I got capital being a name. One may have a pass with very wire because I don't bring a bit cabo Cassiwa. Iaga Bocasqua got the 2 more show. And then I am still of the opinion that Biafra, if we should, as we will always do, hold our leader as the high esteem by the moon to some certain things. I will still suggest and instinct people like us say, they should get that date. They give our leader. Our leader is here. We say go from that 9 days. May minus that 9 days. Okay, the new supposed to H area. They may minus 9 days in H area before I know. They may add that account that IPO. They may account, I may your deeds worldwide. Because our leader, we can give our leader that incentive. Now, only about our leader, nor deserve in our stress here so much. But the Hamabo 1 year, and then all of them, Gadia, a guy, a guy. Today you can't just produce. Okay, there are maybe account of maybe people who are now being biased in our what you do in Aga. I personally have been or leadership. Those men are innocent. The way I am it. Oh, my deputy. I am a back out of
okay, I wouldn't they DOS.
When you have a just not innocent people now. When you have a leadership, or just can even call with my executive beside them. On what come I got a leadership? This is what we are going to do. Of the man, because and you want leadership, this is what we are going to do. Then go guide me for the account, and you just say later officially, only the area. See, I come and take over this new account. The later they were going to get it for tomorrow. Or why you share also? Because I like to hear this.
Okay, so Uno me per account to checkmate the fraud again like the previous one. There wasn't any a joint signature.
Thank you.
Yeah,
because I draw in here now spread now the open for people to see. You know, that's their lifestyle. Have your hand a book did that, Papa, Hana Panyeri Josa Namano, Nani, they will have one position or whatever. Those people ignorant, they say, I need to get everybody now here. And you have to go in soon. Naya, no my own, they just go up with hardcore, your criminal like them. Or I need to get everybody, people that are going now. I need to get everybody. You know, they did this thing. They group them to the extent, okay, yeah, those printer groups in Jarasi. Now, I for protest, J Union Building, how is Robia? Okay, when that is so, or the kind of dubious mindset can anyway. National law, Hannah, they go and they can't on issue. And I would be they go the entire South Africa and they go and they Imana, I Jara, okay, when that is so. Any spend be there, Rundia, they go bed and come in a hand. Okay, Haputara. My 35 Hala Shulo. If I go had it, Guru, Gassi Hagi, Yasindi, Noribe, Yepa 500 rands or take care of just like the way we go bell. 1,000 here play there and the player in a national game there this same people.
Unekewa, unasema maka hao ndi nukulisi. Good.
We did it. Mazi, we spent almost 80-something thousand rands to kill that case, you know, because they were like 15 or 16 in number. Mazi, eventually, everybody at even one guy. You might have been surprised that one of them would go for a single national. Now, these people, Biafra, can't go again 500, compulsory 500 for what?
This in Ghana apụta.
Upon this in Ghana, the zone, the unit members, they follow the west side here. Now those people, that is a kind of the coordinator.
Okay. Mazi, can we tell something here because Oga na ada kwarapu. In Agwam na enweru Kanu bịara na South Africa nwee group, state group IPOB nke.
Yes, o mere group. Ọ dị ọkpọdoro anya na-esu ya na ego ya. He did it in Pretoria, Johannesburg Central, and the Cape Town. And as we speak, ndị niile Tigashala because lives cannot last forever now. Ndị niile Tigashala, onwe ojiji na. Wee maka oge ha pụtara. Ga-abịakwa ekeri, otu ekere again within them. Ekekwe 500 rands again. Ọ bụghị ndị si niile nke ekere the members ọkpọdoro anya. Ewekwere dị ego. They those people again is in put that happen as their own party. Whereas we now go see na Hajia or lawyer or whatever. I don't know how that don't even have for that one. But the only thing that what happened, these people did not put even one dime. The national, because for the fact na national for protest, how we are joining.
Okay.
Now we overlook the fact na Hana we go how na passport we do bring a kind of that. We took the responsibility. We make sure that even everybody the whole day the way or whatever. Even Indiana to go and national. Even about 5 of them or thereabout. You know, no they okay. Let's assume maybe they want now they have realized their mistakes or whatever. And actually because now for protest happen. You know. But the negative spirit, I need to protest against Banana Diana because it for some time or they just don't want you without any problem. One of the can happen. Just ask where you can protest injury, see, police is being harassed, all those things, degree to all this thing. But that is not where I'm going. Why should they go back again? Alcohol do and yours or sinner all one national they need back from A to Z even more dice from court and everything. National take a bill. Why did they contribute money? They want an also for not saying a poor
lawyers.
Oh, but the same dubious character. But the happier even way behind how can they paint in the mother, you know, black, you know. Ghana, all their way, and they put up both innocent people, people innocent, one of the cannot say dinner, don't we? You know, how many missing a hand? That's the pattern.
They
operate. Yeah.
Mazi, Oga ya adawago kwarapu. Ekenem gị, for those of us na amara onye just okwu onye isi ndị National IPOB South Africa. Also kwa na ndị nne anya na Kanu na-ekwu na ha mepere account, so unanugo kosi. One thing we must understand is this. It's quite unfortunate. We all had the voice of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi, very, very important, and hacking because of the truth he preached to us. But unfortunately, Asinofunne Mun, Manachi Diche. Unfortunately, some of these things we're seeing around his siblings tend not to really speak good of trying to. Okay, hello. Can you speak for 3 minutes? Then we. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
sorry, we are rushing for S program so that we can also hear from the other caller. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
My name is Mazi. I want to make a contribution in this program. Before I go further, I would like to refer us to what happened in South Africa during the struggle for freedom of South Africa, which was led by Nelson Mandela, and also the general body, which is known as ANC. You see, during the struggle of South Africa, after Nelson Mandela was jailed for 27 years, I want to remind us that his wife, Winnie Mandela, was going against the leadership of the ANC.
Okay.
She was going against the leadership of the ANC. She has to go out and recruit youth and was, going against the order of the ANC. When the ANC told everybody that there's no need to protest, she will organize the youth and go out for protests, and sometimes they get killed. Okay, she was working against the ANC and also against the order of her husband, which is the Nelson Mandela, because Nelson Mandela kept on calling her attention and saying, please, do not poke nose in the affairs of the leadership of ANC.
Oh.
He refused. She kept on doing that, going against the ANC, and sometimes when he took the young guys to go and protest and face the police, some get killed, some even get arrested, and even at some point, he also was arrested too, but later was released as well. Okay? He did all manner of things to undermine the leadership of the ANC. And Nelson Mandela kept on getting this message of the activities of her wife. And Nelson Mandela kept on also sending messages to Winnie Mandela saying, stay away from the affairs of this struggle. Allow the ANC, which is the leadership of this movement, to run the struggle. But she refused. Okay, upon the release of Nelson Mandela, this is one of the things that made Nelson Mandela to divorce Winnie Mandela, because Nelson Mandela saw that all the evidence and all the information was laid bare to him by the leadership of the ANC. They informed him about the activities of his wife. And upon looking on all these things, Nelson Mandela found it that this is outrageous. And he went on and divorced Winnie Mandela because he was prognosing in the affairs of the ANC. Why I'm saying this is, let the leadership look into this. We are not the first people to pass through all this ordeal. Okay. Though leader, like people like Ipob, led by Mazi, Kanu, which is facing similar challenges, must understand that we are not the first people, and we must continue in what we are doing. And upon our freedom, I am aware that we will have a committee that will be set up to look into the activities of freedom fighting, and whoever that is that has erred, or whoever that has done anything wrong, or he will face the consequences. This is what I understand. Okay? So, having said that, I want also to make us to remind us that there was a point that Nnamdi came online and said, oh, from this day onward, there will be no stamping of IPOB. From that day, I told my national coordinator, I said, something is wrong. But the fact that this woman say, oh, there is no need of stamping there will be no official stamping of IPOB, I said, something is going on. And from that day, things has begun to go backward in terms of finance in the table of Nnamdi. Can I tell you something now?
currently, as I'm talking to you now, is going behind, calling national coordinators from different countries, asking them questions. Which side are you on? Are you on the side of Mazi or are you on the side of the US? If you are going to, if you are on the side of the US, that means you have betrayed Mazi. You better join us now. Better join us now so that Mazi will not blame you when he comes out. I'm telling you what I know. That is what she's doing now. She's calling countries national coordinator is doing that. So the leadership must take cognizance of what I'm saying now and put things in order. Because they are not backing down and they are ready to go to the full extent because they know that it is like a person who jumps into the potopoto. The only thing you can do is to keep sweeping the potopoto. So let us keep our eyes on the ball and keep on doing what we are doing. Our leader, Nnamdi, is our leader. There is no two ways about it. But his siblings must face the music of Ipob.
Thanks so much. That is a wonderful contribution from our brother, and I frankly appreciate that. So we have about 7 minutes for this program. So we have the last caller from US. We'll hear him, then we'll come to the end of today's program. Please, he or she. Okay, good afternoon from here. Or good evening.
Good evening, watching it.
Good evening.
Good evening, brother. I've spoken once with you on this channel.
Is that right?
And I've come to also make another point clear.
Are you there?
To come and prove me wrong or come and hold me responsible for what I'm about to tell you. Come on. Look now the way I'm staying, where I stay. Let me make it point clear to our people. Anybody who is not following the direction and the rules put in place in
Your line is breaking. Can we hear you clear, Mazi? Or it seems calls are coming into your car. Check. It seems calls are. Okay, let me get back to him. I think he has a very important something to say. We have about less than 4 minutes to go, but let me get across to him. Then we'll come to that should be the last caller we have today. I wish you can pick up. Okay, sorry, your line was cracking. I have to drop it and get back to you.
No problem. Anybody that is not following the direction of the DOS at this moment are absolutely those contracted to follow the struggle. Take this from me, I'm saying it again. Anybody not following the direction of the DOS in this movement or outside this movement, deciding and trying to destroy the leadership of the struggle are completely contractual snails. There is no two ways about it, and if whoever do not believe this, that is to their own detriment. And now let me make a point clear. Back then, between 16, 17, before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was released, his parents were bribed in order to bring their son down and advise him to stay away from this whole struggle, but they refused the bribe.
But how did you know that? How did you know that his parents?
They were bribed. Like what? That is why I say publish my number. Publish my number.
They were bribed, but they refused.
But I would prefer for you to use the word allegedly, because I don't think you have a convincing fact to
Yes, exactly. Allegedly bribed, but they refused. But when the government observed that this parents of this a young man that is being put in a dungeon, when they observed that these parents are very, very righteous, they had to go through the child, which is the Prince Kanu Meme. When they invaded the house, those parents were not, they did not die immediately. Something actually killed them, and they said some boys they were poisoned, and there was a comment that was made that they took them to Germany and they died the same time. The same time. At least even when you have heart attack, it will have to give you like some years before you die. The heart attack and you never had this heart attack. Two parents of this young man, Kanu Meme, Prince Kanu was aware they wasted this king and his wife to clear up the road, because if these two people remains there, they will have to, they won't have that, the children will not have that a passage of getting this bribe. And when actually when they were about planning to kidnap our leader, they used Kanu and what is that woman name? The finance minister, whatever they call her. They used them where they were taking Mazi Nnamdi to one or two places to international news company, Al Jazeera and all the rest place, to make him convincing that this thing is making head and these are the actual people that is trying to make it. And so that Mazi Nnamdi will contact body with these people. That was how they were able to lead the man to Kenya. And Kanunta was aware. Because when they asked Kanunta, he said he was praying in the mountain. Up till now, Kanunta is with the gadget of Nnamdi Kanu, all the whole gadget, all the whole instrument. He went to Kenya with Kanunta is with it. Even till they tortured him for 8 days, he was aware. Till they crossed him to Nigeria, he was aware he should be answering questions. When they took him to Nigeria and the whole court process continued, you observe that all the whole shenanigan of what do they call it, manipulation started.
Okay, Mazi, sorry, maybe we come back to this program next time, because I'm not really comfortable when people say a grievous accusations like this, to be honest with you. What you're saying here is really, really heavy to my ears, and I must admit that it forces me to think beyond my peripheral scope. But you know, this is a public space, and I also have the consciousness that I might be talking to different people from different walks of life. That's why I'm always careful, extremely careful, because I don't know what my listeners are into. Some people are in different sensitive job descriptions. So maybe sometime in the next program we can continue. We're heading to S program. So I want to I wish. Hello? Hello? Can you use 2 minutes? Is it possible? Because I'm closing up the program.
Of course.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I have been trying to call him, but my network is not stable.
So sorry for that.
Thank you very much. The only thing I want to say is unfortunate that what we are passing through now is psychological warfare.
You're quite correct.
Because one, they have defeated the main enemy, and they have understand our people that the only way they can defeat us now is to show a seed of discord, division. Because if you check their handwriting, if they say it is leadership, then when people started discussing the matters, started exposing them, they will now go to IPOB lawyer. Then tomorrow now, if we expose them on that, they are now rushing back to our leader's family. You see what Benjamin posted and was the main targets of all these things, they want us to be bad, want us to be frustrated. Because I cannot see a reason why a human being that claims that you love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the structure that he put in place, you are kicking against it. I love what the leadership are doing now. I love what they are doing. They are now focusing on the main issue.
Yes, very, very important.
They are focusing on the main issue. Let them leave the work for us. Who will take care of these people? Who will be the one challenging them? That is why I talk up for this woman called Nneka. This woman has been doing a marvelous work. She's a journalist, yes. Since this woman has been talking about the things that happen in our land, her destiny have been accurate. Nobody can see what is happening in IPOB now. The person must know that something is wrong. Money is involved. Money is involved.
There were Mazi. Yeah, and there were. I have to just cut you off at this very time because we have an S program to attend to. I really want to appreciate every single one of us. Let's move to S and have our contribution, because that is where you have to call, have the speaker speak and air your view. Your time you gave are really amazing. Thanks, and we'll keep on preserving us. Remember, always remember our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in your prayers. From here, I want to say, have the best of the new